Evening, everyone. Welcome to our first live episode of Short and Sweet. It's just coming up for 5 to 8 this evening. What we're going to do, just to enable some people to go out and clap for the NHS in the UK, we're going to actually start the show at 8:02. And that's going to allow some people to go and do their claps like they like to on a Thursday night. And then we'll come back at 2 minutes past 8 to get started with myself and with Ben and with Stephanie. So thanks for joining us this evening. Please do say hello in the chat. Come and have let us know who you are, where you're from. This is our first live broadcast, so do bear with us a little bit. It's all new and exciting, but thanks for tuning in. And thanks also if you're one of our subscribers and you've already watched some of our original videos. So if you've got any questions or any comments as we're going through the evening, just pop those in the chat for us, and we'll pick those up when it's a good opportunity. And we'll make a start, as I say, pretty soon. So we'll just give it sort of 5 minutes, and we'll go from there. While we're waiting, hi Abid. Good to see Abid and Robin on the call. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Darren at Ranga the Trainer. Ben's going to join us shortly. He's gone to clap for the NHS because they've been really good to him this week. And then Steph's joining us as well, all the way from Ohio. So we'll make a start, like I said, in about 4 or 5 minutes' time, once people have had a chance to go and do their clap for the NHS if they want to. If you're not in the UK and you still want to clap for the NHS, you're more than welcome, because I think they thoroughly deserve it. So, and if you're not wearing purple, you can still come and watch. It's not the end of the world. It just might mess with Steph's head a little bit. So we've got Abid joined us, Robin. Good to see. Yeah, see, I forget you. Yeah, so NHS is the National Health Service, Steph. Okay, so that's basically when we go to hospital, we don't have to pay for anything because we've already paid for it through our wages, through our national insurance contributions. So over here in the UK, we don't have to worry about being able to cover the cost of our bills and things when we get to the hospital. They just deal with us. I know, it is fancy. It's amazing, really. It is amazing. And we take it for granted sometimes. But the NHS staff have been doing a phenomenal job, as have all the key workers. Abid apparently has got a funny shade of blue, or he's got a funny shade of blue. There you go. Have you had dinner yet, Abid? G'day, Rachel. Rachel's joined us. Rachel's just come up with a fantastic new website as part of her Innovators project. Rachel, if you want to put the link in the chat, feel free. Badge Ed Tech, the one-stop shop to be able to get all of your badges and certifications and everything else. I'll see if I can find it. I've got it somewhere. Let me find that link for you. Here it is. I'll just pop that in. There we go. I'll make it into a book. There you go. Genius. There we go. So there's I just popped in the chat there. There's the link to Rachel's website. Great place to go if you're interested in getting badges and certificates and accreditations, becoming ambassadors to various different EdTech tools, everything in one place. Toby Carpenter's joining us from Ohio as well. You've got friends in, see, Steph? Must be nice to have friends. I tried, but they're not delivering from eBay at the minute, so they haven't arrived. So we're just doing a couple of minutes to let people go and clap for the NHS workers and the key workers, and then we'll make a start. Steph's going to be talking to us all about meaningful feedback in between laughing her head off. Do you take it you know Toby, do you, Steph? Cool.
Oh, now I'm on the big screen.
Yeah, now you are. Just take Ben off for a minute. There's lots of clapping going on outside.
Oh, we can hear it.
Yeah. It's quite a big thing because I live in a village as well. It's quite cool, actually. Because we live in a village, all of the local farmers decorate all their tractors, and they drive their tractors through the village in a big convoy with banners on saying thank you NHS, and yeah, it's nice. It's a little celebration every Thursday.
Can you take us out there to see?
Can I take you out there?
Yeah.
No. I'm at the back of the house and everything's up on the main road, but it's quite good. It's the only thing we have to look forward to in the country, really.
Gotcha. Everyone, make sure you have your purple on. As you can see, the theme of today is purple.
Yeah. Robin's just pointed out that they drive their tractors through New York every night.
I don't think they drive their tractor.
I don't know how they get their tractors over there and back in time, but you know.
I don't think they do their tractors.
Farmers, they're amazing people. It's not tractors in New York, no.
So do you live by a lot of farmland?
Ben's back. There we go. Hi, Ben.
Oh.
How you doing? All right?
I'm doing.
Is that a good clap?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah,
Purple,
very nice.
Purple all the way. So, like we said, we're going to make a start this evening, and like we've already said, you know, we've held it back a little bit for the clap for the NHS, but for those of you that don't know us, my name is Darren. I'm at Ranga the Trainer on Twitter, and the co-host here is Ben. Ben, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Ben Moore. My Twitter handle is Training with BM on Twitter as well.
Brilliant. And we have with us, of course, Steph as well. So, Ben, I'm going to hand over to you to do the introductions, and I'll keep an eye on the chat in the background here because Rachel's posting lots of purple hearts for us. Lovely.
Brilliant. Okay. Thanks very much. So, welcome everybody to the short and sweet live stream. It's our first live stream, and so we've got the amazing Stephanie Howell with us today. So please do join in with us in the chat. We'll keep an eye on that throughout, and any questions we'll try to answer the best as we can. So Stephanie's an inspiration to us that we both met through Twitter, global virtual forums. And we're really looking forward to seeing what she's got to share with us tonight. So without stealing her thunder, Stephanie, would you like to introduce yourself and what you're going to be doing this evening?
Sure. So I am Stephanie Howell. I am from Ohio in the United States. I'm going to be talking about feedback tonight and how my teachers have had to kind of change the way that they give feedback due to this distance learning of COVID-19. As Darren likes to say, they closed the schools on us.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they the whole phrase that they close the schools really bothers me because schools aren't closed, as we all know, and there are lots of us going in still putting ourselves at risk for the good of the children, and that's what it's all about.
But didn't you say that? You were like, "Oh, I'm writing books because the school's closed on me." Or no, what did you say? What was the saying?
I don't know.
Someone help us out in the chat.
I just need to pay you for keep plugging my books for me. It's brilliant. You're going to have to get commission or something on this, or at least a coffee out of it. So we're going to get started then. Steph, you're going to present your screen, yeah?
Yep. Are you ready?
And we'll make a start. Yeah, as soon as you're ready. If you just share your screen with us, I can add it to the stream. There we go. and we'll leave it over to you. So why is feedback so important then?
All right, so we're going to be talking about providing feedback, and like Darren said, why is it important? In this, I've done this PD for my teachers, and they found a lot of value out of it. So I really hope everybody in the world, or whoever's watching, finds a lot of value out of it. And Darren will provide the slide deck in the chat, so feel free to make a copy, steal, do whatever you need with all these resources. I did already record this, and you can also watch the YouTube video again. But if you wanted to see the video that I did with my teachers, it's attached into the slide deck. And so why is feedback important? Feedback is probably one of the most powerful tools that teachers have in their tool belt. And a lot of times teachers spend a lot of time grading outside of the school day. And I don't really agree with grading outside of the school day. I really think you need a grade in front of teacher or students so they can watch you give feedback to them. And then they know what they're doing. They can change quickly on what they're trying to do. And so a lot of teachers, since we went distance learning, started to give the text feedback. And it was okay, but it wasn't impacting students very well. And so we have a ton of research out there that says using media that's not just text comments can really impact student performance and increase their learning. And there's a ton of research out there, so I cannot wait to share some of these different ideas with you guys. So my first suggestion is using real-time feedback. Like I said, when I taught, I never took a paper home. I graded everything during the school day with the student sitting next to me. We did a lot of blended learning. So the students would come in and out of my classroom. I would sit down with them. I would grade their entrance tickets, give them feedback. I would put it on a Google slide, or I would use Google Forms. I would use Edpuzzle. I would use all of those different apps that gave them that immediate feedback so they knew if they got it right or wrong. And it really did help my students' instruction. So the first idea is using Google Meet and appointment slots. So if you've never used appointment slots, hopefully my computer can handle all these different tabs. I'm going to pull up Google Calendar. Wait, I already have that tab up. I normally don't have this many tabs up. You're going to create a new event like this. And when you do that, oh, I double clicked too fast. Nope, it does not want to listen to me. One click. I got click happy. You're going to click this appointment slots. So I would call this feedback session. I'd turn on appointment slots, and I could make this as long as I wanted. I'm only going to do an hour, and I'm only going to set this up so I meet with students for 15 minutes. You're going to hit save. Once you hit save, you're going to get a nice little link, and you can share this link onto Google Classroom. And then your students can sign up over here. You can see they can pick a time for when they want to meet with me. So if I click this time, it's going to say feedback in your student's name, and then they hit save. And so now when I go back to my Google Calendar, I can see that I now have a meeting with myself to go over feedback at 9:30. So then I have a 15-minute appointment with this student. The next student that goes to my Google Calendar and clicks this link, or if you shared that link in Classroom, they will see that that spot is already filled and they cannot click it. So they would need to pick one of these other times. And then they, again, just hit save. And now I have 2 events on my calendar. And so feedback like that can be really beneficial. So then you're just going in and out of Google Meet meetings to meet with students. And I've done this so the teachers will add a Google Meet to the calendar invite and the kids just join from there. Or they've been using where they turn it on in Google Classroom and the kids just join at their given time and use that same link. So it's kind of up to you and your students. A lot of my speech teachers are using this too because they have to meet individually with all of their students. So that's one way. Are there any questions in the chat, or you want me to keep going?
No, just everyone's commenting on how much spare time you look like you've got on your calendar.
Oh yeah, yeah, ignore that. Ignore all of that time. So that's option 1. The next option is to post a Google document into your Google Classroom and allow every student to edit. And then they can sign up for time slots through a Google Doc. So you would set your time slots here, and then they would type their name and any questions or feedback that they might need help on during that time. And then you can just kind of keep a running doc, and kids, again, you would turn on the link for Google Meet in Classroom, they join at their given time, and then they can leave. So that way they're meeting with you. You can go over their papers real quick, check in with them throughout the week. And again, feel free to steal all of these documents and make them your own. Feel free to change this to purple since that's the theme of today. The next idea is using Google, another Google Doc. Stephanie Rothstein, she created this one. So she has students meeting in groups. So teachers might not have enough time to meet individually with students due to their classroom size. So if that's the case, you could use Google Meet groups. And what she does is she puts a group name and then she attaches the link to the Google Meet, and then she types every single student's name in. And the students might meet at different times throughout the day so they can get teacher help. They might meet at the same time, and then the teacher is really able to help them. So I really love what Stephanie set up here. It makes it easy for students to see which group they're in. You can group the students into, like, maybe they're struggling with a certain schedule or type of assignment, and you can really drill down and help that group of students quickly. And you get to meet with like 5 of them compared to 1 at one time. The next one is a Google Sheets. My Google just went off. A Google Sheets document. I love Sheets. So here you can put all of the different like topics. So this one is creating an essay. So the students might need help with their intro. The students might need help with their body paragraph. They might need help with the conclusion. And you would post this in Google Classroom. Every student can edit. And then students would type their name to meet with you. And so you might put the time over here of when you're offering these different sessions. And then it kind of allows students to have a little bit of self-awareness on what area they need most help with and your assistance. So then you can then pull that small group into a Google Meet and help them with their intro. So it's a little bit more focused. And again, the kids can sign up. And there might be some kids where you might need to say, hey, you really need to sign up for this area. So those are my suggestions for the first idea of providing feedback, is that in-person feedback. Try to use one of those to meet with your student. I always think in-person is the best. However, I know sometimes we can't meet with our students because right now I know there's a lot of students that seem to be working at 10 p.m. Which makes it really difficult to stay up as a teacher because you've got to find that balance to kind of turn it off. I know it's really hard. So idea 2 is like using video as an option for feedback. So here are my top 3 favorite places to go for video. So I've got Screencastify, Loom, which is free for educators forever, and then WeVideo. I'm going to show Screencastify because I think it's the easiest to teach teachers. So what you have to do is you have to go to Screencastify, and then you have to get this extension up here. So if you click this link, you're just going to follow a couple steps, sign in with Google. And Screencastify, I think Fred said there's some updates, didn't he, Darren?
Yeah, there's a beta running at the moment, which Fred pointed out to me, which is basically Screencastify Submit. So you can set assignments to students. They can record their responses to those assignments, and you can set the amount of time you want them to spend on it and the amount of recording time, and then it brings it all back into Google Classroom for you, and they don't need to have the extension at all. So it basically pushes everything to them that they need, brings them back to Google Classroom at the end quite neatly to the hand-in page so that they can turn their finished video in. So it's really, really promising.
Yeah, it's really cool. When Fred showed us, actually, I think it was you, Darren, that overtook Fred's presentation. It was a really cool feature. So make sure you check that out. So here you would just add to Chrome. Again, it's free. There is a paid version, but the free version honestly should be enough because you should not be making videos over 5 minutes. And all you would have to do to provide feedback is click this extension when it's there, sign in with Google. And then you would have to set up your access to everything and hit allow. See if it will. Wrong. There we go. I want the drawing tools.
Has it seen you draw before?
Yeah.
Not a good idea. Or,
yeah, but I had to get another computer because I broke my other one. And then you would just provide feedback to students. So as the video is going, you're talking about, you know, hey, you made an error right here. You can show the student by highlighting. There are tools, but for some reason I could not get them to play. So then you could actually like write on the page and show students where they did mess up. And then all you have to do is hit stop. And then it's going to open up another tab for you. And it will show you your video. So again, you would just click this extension. Let's see if it will let me. I don't know. I'll have to play with that later. But the drawing tools are really cool because you can add a better mouse and different tools. Like you can pick any color. You can do a spotlight. And then here's my video. I can rename it. And then I can share it with the students. So all you have to do is click this link right here and share it with the students. And again, they have so many options. Like you can download it if you needed to. You can also export it as a GIF if you didn't need any audio or if you wanted to create some of those GIFs. So Screencastify is such a great product for feedback. The next one is Loom. I'm just going to real quick show it. Again, it's another extension. And this one is free for educators. Abid loves Loom. And it works just like Screencastify, only the picture of yourself is like a circle, where on Screencastify, it's more of a square. So if you like to be a circle like this, you can pick that option. But again, same features. You can use your screen and camera. I could do my screen only, and I could do my camera only, depending on which option I wanted. And it works just like Screencastify. You just hit start recording. And then I would talk about my presentation. And then again, it opens up in a new tab. And to get the free for educators, you just have to email Zoom, or not Zoom, Loom, and tell them that you're an educator and they will update your account for free. And right here is my video, and then you can copy it. You can set up a password if you wanted to protect it a little bit more. But there's so many different options in here that you can kind of play with Loom. So those are two ways. I'm not going to show WeVideo because there is a paid feature to WeVideo, but just know WeVideo is another option.
It's awesome.
And then this one's probably Darren's favorite, audio feedback.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be talking about Moat. The reason I'm going to really spotlight Moat is because Moat works in a lot of different platforms, where Camtasia and Read and Write only work on Google Docs to provide feedback. And so with Moat, I can use this right here. It's this extension up here. You're just going to type in Moat. You're going to like highlight and leave a comment like you normally would. And then you're going to click this purple button. Oh, Moat knew it was going to be, we were going to wear purple. Maybe we wore purple for Moat. And then you just say, hello, you did a great job. Make sure you double check your area to improve on for next time. And then you just hit done. And then it's going to say it's thinking. And then if students do not have the extension, they're going to see this link. And they can copy and paste this to another tab. And they can see your feedback that you gave them on this website. So here's the website. I can see the audio recording right here. And then I can read exactly what I said. That's one reason I really like Moat compared to the two others, because it transcribes what you just said. And I think Darren has another video on Moat too, if you need further guidance on using Moat. If the students do have the extension, so if they have this same purple extension, they can actually not even have to go to another tab. They can just hit play and read the transcription right in the Google slide. And then you just say hello. And I really like it because there's that 5-minute mark. And the kids can click that to go back. I'm not 5 minutes, 5 seconds. And they can go back. I have like myself talking in my ear because I have headphones and it keeps repeating what I'm saying. So there's like 5 seconds and you can go back and the kids can re-listen and then they can see more. Moat is working on a ton of different updates. So make sure you do check them out. And you can also edit. If I meant to say like something else, or I didn't say that word, I can change it if I needed to. And then I could go over here, make another comment, and I could use mode again. The students, if they have the extension, they can comment back to you using mode as well.
I love the emoji option as well with Moat. I think that's brilliant because it just engages the students so much more.
Where is the emoji at? I don't think I've seen that.
So if you just type a colon and then start typing a word, so for example, :th, and it will start suggesting thumbs up, thumbs down, and things like that.
What do I have to type?
So a colon.
A codon?
A colon.
What's a colon?
What's a colon? Like a semicolon, but a full one.
Like that? No, that didn't work. I don't know. We'll have to watch Darren's video. 3 dots?
2 dots. Yeah.
Like
That's
that?
it.
2, one above each other. It's off the next to L.
Dot.
No, on top of each other.
Okay. And then what?
And then like th. And it should start suggesting. You've got 2 colons in there though, haven't you?
You said 3. One,
just
2, 3.
No, just one lot of colon. There we go.
I still don't.
Oh, it's not doing it. It's not doing it. Ah.
Let me try again.
Yeah. It works on mine.
It doesn't work now. It's really silly here, isn't it?
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so I just learned something really cool. So now you have to start a new comment. You can't do that, it looks like, in a reply. So you just would click here, click the little comment guy. What do you call that? Codon?
Colon.
And then you can just type.
Colon.
And there we go. Oh, that's so cool. Okay.
We're gonna need a translator, aren't we?
Yeah. This is awesome. And then the kids can resolve it. Well, we met with Note a couple days ago, and I asked them like if the kids could change the colors when they listen, that would be awesome. So then the teachers know. And so if kids resolve and they didn't make changes, you can always reopen the comment. So just going up to the comments, and then I could just hit reopen. And then I could say, please read my comments again or listen to my comments again. But again, I really love using Moat because it transcribes and the kids are able to listen to it. For the other 2, they do work in a Google Doc pretty well. So Read and Write works pretty similar to Moat, and Read and Write is free for educators, but you do have to pay for students. But it does allow you to create a audio comment that is 1 minute. And then Kaizena allows you also to provide feedback by audio. So idea 4 is probably one of my favorites, stickers and badges, because which kids do not love to see my Bitmoji? So Bitmoji, you can go here and get the link for Bitmoji, but it's just an extension. It is not, it's free. I forget, someone was like, you have to pay. And I was like, no, it's free. But you can pick any of the appropriate Bitemojis. There are some that are inappropriate, so make sure you click the correct Bitemoji. But I could say like, good job. And then I could pick any of these awesome Bitemojis to place right on top of their work. So they knew that I checked it. And the kids really do like seeing our Bitemojis because they miss us. There's also badges. So this link will take you to Tim's Twitter. And he has a whole website that has these different badges on them. And I thought they were really cool because some of his badges said like Ed Puzzle Completer. So if a student completed an Ed Puzzle video, they could earn a badge. Or if they completed so many, maybe they could earn some stuff. Activity Finisher, Google Classroom On-Time Submitter. And he's got all these different badges that he's created for his classroom. So just find his website. I think you just have to click him. And then you can go to his website and find all of his lovely badges. And he even made them in different colors. So if you don't like those colors that I just showed you, he has a ton of different options. And then the last one is just digital stickers. So using this Explorer tool at the bottom and then just searching like happy face. Images, and then you just insert whichever happy face you wanted. And then the kids can see their nice little sticker that they have on their page. And you can also use GIFs. GIFs are kind of blocked in my district, so I just told my teachers be careful, but some of the GIFs might work. And then you could also use like images or memes. Maybe you have that relationship with your kids already built up. And then you can use Mote too to add emojis. Here I just added a emoji, so I just used Control Command Spacebar, and that's how I get to my emojis.
Yep.
So that could work too. Or again, I could comment, and I could use my new trick, and I can write smiling cat. Ooh, I love that. There we go. So there's another option. All right, do you want me to keep going or answer any questions?
I think it's really cool. I've been waiting for ages to be able to get the personalization option on my Bitmoji extension. I've been able to put my own words in until about 2 days ago. I've been waiting, and it makes such a difference.
It really does. So make sure, they just added that feature. So if I type in like cats, I don't know why I'm so obsessed with cats right now. There will be like images with cats, but as you can see, I'm eating ice cream and it says cats above me. Here I'm hungry and I don't know why it says cats there, but that's a little scary. This one's like a babe. Like you can type whatever you want, and now they will make a Bitmoji that has that word with it, which is super amazing.
Dang, you could even do that.
Yeah, I could do make sure in the comments you write F to follow Darren. I could do follow, and I can use any of these different Bitmojis. I like this one. And I love them because they have a what is it? What was I going to say? Transparent background.
Yeah.
So that is always a huge, huge help. So we have this friend, her name is Lauren Hale, and she is a graphic designer who became an educator. And she is working on her Innovator project, and she's created like all these amazing different icons. I'm sure someone can put the link in the chat, or I can find it for you later if you really want to see her website. But she is amazing. So after this session that I gave with my teachers, I had a couple teachers that were like, oh, I've never thought of using stickers to give feedback. And it's so easy. So I talked to Lauren, and she said that she would create some of these stickers for us. So feel free to add any kind of sticker that you might want to see. My teachers were thinking more like the badge look, but it would be kind of like a digital sticker. So again, feel free to add to this list. And Lauren, hopefully when she gets some free time, will help us create some digital stickers.
That's really cool. What a great offer.
Yeah, Lauren is amazing. You need to have her on. All right, so the last idea is just tracking student success. So again, it's a Google Sheet. I love Google Sheets. And on my blog, you can click the image to get a copy of this, so you do not have to redo all of this work. It is free for you to use, so feel free to use and steal. There's another video here if you need to, and then how to protect the rows for the grid. So this is called tracking student success. And what you do is you're going to make a copy of it. And once it makes a copy, it's going to transfer everything, such as like the conditional formatting, all of the text. Everything's going to copy right on over the drop down, so you don't have to do any of that work. It is a lot of setup at first, but once my teachers create this nice spreadsheet in August, they don't have to recreate it again later that year, because they can just copy and edit whatever they need. So yes, it is a lot of work at the start of the year, but then it gets easier, I promise. So a lot of my teachers, since we've gone to distance learning, have used this tracking sheet. And before distance learning, they used this sheet in their Google or in their classroom. They would put it in Google Classroom, as every student can edit. And what you would do is you just type all your students' names in the B column. And then once all your students' names are in, you can share it with them. And again, every student can edit. There is a way to protect the rows if you need to. So that way, student 1 can't mess with student 2's row. And I will show you how to do that. But what you would do is you're going to put all your different assignments up here. So maybe task A was they had to read an article. Task B was they had to listen to feedback on Note. So they had to listen to your feedback. 1C was they had to meet with you during a session. And then I can move this black line if I need to. What they use this black line for is teacher check-ins. So after they complete these 3 activities, they must see a teacher once they finish those 3 activities before moving on to level 2 or level 3 or level 4. And again, you could move these so maybe they only do 1 activity. So maybe they had to do a reading and answer some questions, and then you wanted to provide feedback using Mote, and so you would move that there, which is really handy that you can move this little tool wherever you need to for a check-in. And then you would just add your other activities as you feel needed. Over here, the students would write they're working on this, so they're working on this reading activity. And then once they finish, they're going to change this to finish, and it's going to turn green. And then they're going to be working on the second activity. So you can quickly see where all of your students are at on this checklist, which makes it super helpful during distance learning because your students are probably all over the place. I know for Pickerington, we added assignments and we said, okay, it's a weekly checklist. So students have all week to complete all of their different tasks. So my teachers are putting their weekly checklist up here on the second column or second row. And then the students have a whole week to complete it. So some students might get all of this done on Monday. Other students, it might take them a whole week to get it all done. Some students might do a section a day. And so it just kind of depends on the kid and how the teacher assigns things on how much the kid might get done. But again, they just quickly change the colors and then you can see where you need to assist or what you need to help with. Let's say student 1 really needs help. They just click this down button and they can say they need help. And it changes red. And then this student, let's say they've finished all of their work and they're at this black line. They can say that they need to be checked. So it changes to orange. So the teacher can really quick see, okay, red means that the student needs help. Orange means that they just need checked. Green means they're good and they don't need my assistance. This column for Q was created during the school year for location. So anytime the student would leave the classroom and go to the restroom, it would timestamp it and change colors. So the teacher knew, okay, the student went to the restroom at 3:33. I told them they had 5 minutes. They're back 20 minutes later, what happened in the restroom, and they can have that conversation with the student. It's also nice for emergency drills. I was in a classroom and we had an Alice drill, and I let some students use the restroom and we had no idea where they were because I didn't know their names because I'm an instructional technology coordinator and I have 3 buildings with over 2,000 students, and I don't know every single kid's name, and it just kind of got messy. So this allowed me to really help the teachers, like, okay, I know where that kid's at. And then if they move it back to classroom, the time goes away. So once the students are in here, we usually don't protect it until we give them a chance to see if we can trust them or not. And normally we can't because they're kids. So to protect the row, you would just highlight the number. So you just do 1 click on the number and then 2 fingers, 1 click, so right click. And you would go down to protect range. So right here. Once you have protect range open, I always type in the student's name so I can quickly edit if I ever need to edit. If I ever needed to add like an intervention specialist or another teacher so they could also edit, I could do so. And then I change this to custom. And then I would type in the student's name. So I'm going to just type in my email address. And then I click done. And then once I am done, that row is locked. So that student can only work on row 1. You have to do every single row because these students can still mess with student 1. So then I would go to row 2. Again, protect range down at the bottom. And then I can type in student 2. The permissions. And then it's going to always click the other students in the class. So you have to unclick and type the new email in. So yes, this is a lot of work at the start, but once it's set up, you're good to go. So then for the following week, you're always going to use the original copy. So I would duplicate this, if it lets me. There we go. I go back to my original, and I'm going to delete all of these responses because I'm going to start over with the week. The reason you have to use your original and not the copy is because those permissions will not copy. So if you're not using permissions, you can use the copy of or like a blank original. But if you are protecting each of the different rows, make sure you make a copy. And then what I tell my teachers to do is I tell them to protect this sheet. And then I would put the date. And then only I can edit. So then if kids are turning stuff in late, I can go in and change the color. And I have a record of that. So that way they have to check in with me if things are being turned in late. Again, you could turn this on, just know that your permissions will not be set up unless you reset them up. However, teachers have found that there's usually only a couple kids that haven't done stuff, so it's easier for them to have the protect range on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's all set up for you. You just have to steal it and add your students' names and protect the rows if you want to. So my last point, and then I will take questions or we can joke around. I'm fine with whatever. Is feedback that feels personal is more likely to inspire students to continue working to develop their school skills. So when kids feel that that feedback isn't just generic, it's more personalized to them, they will continue to try to work hard and impress you, and they will go over and above. At least that's what I've seen in my own classroom. So just remember to do your best and try to provide as much feedback as you can to students. So just a quick recap, make sure you're doing live feedback as much as possible, and then video feedback, audio feedback, and then if you want to, feel free to use the tracking sheet just so you can keep track of all of your students' needs.
That's awesome. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
We'll give people a few minutes to pop any questions that they might have in the chat as well. If you've got anything you want to ask us, or if there's anything you'd like to know more about, feel free to ask. I think that last point about personalization is so important at the minute, because they're not getting any day-to-day interaction with anyone other than the people they live with, and in some cases those people are incredibly busy or out at work as well, and quite often their teacher might be the only person they interact with during the course of the day. So personally, that's, Steph, I love either the video feedback or the audio feedback, just because it's so personal. It's you, and you're the person they're used to, and I think that makes a big difference.
And it's crazy too, like when my teachers added Mote,
yeah,
they said they saved time.
Oh yeah.
Compared to typing it, they were just super impressed. And I'm pretty sure Mote is creating like a bank, so you can add your comments to the bank and reuse them. They said they were working on that. I don't know how soon that will be available, or if it's going to be part of their like paid part, because I know they are going to be paying soon, which is sad.
Hopefully they have a kind of an entry level that's free, and then you pay for the upgrade like most other things. But I think it's brilliant. I've been using it with my students. I managed to mark 7 groups in about 2 hours this week, just using Mote, which 7 groups normally would take me about 2 weeks, let alone 2 hours. But I had some really nice feedback from parents as well, saying how nice it was that it was personalised feedback, which is really good to see. Because that's keeping the kids engaged at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
I know, Ben, you've been.
I thought that's. Sorry.
Ben is a real person. He's not a robot.
I know, Ben keeps freezing on us.
Yeah. Not sure why that is.
I think you're all right now, Ben. Go on. You broke up.
I was just going to say, I really like that. The sort of visual setting for each sort of row on the Google Sheet. I think that's a fantastic track, individual student progress, and as I say, to only let certain people edit that, I think that's great. It's not something I've seen before, but that's going to come in real handy. That is.
Yeah, definitely. I've done it with staff before, and not letting not letting heads of department edit other heads of departments things, but I've never used it with students. So yeah, I think that's got great potential, definitely. And of course, there are other apps that we've got to talk about today. So we've talked about Moat, and it's a great example. But there are other voice typing tools out there. I know, Ben, you use voice typing. There's also talk and comment as well. So there are various different options, and it's like anything with these. You just find what you like and what works for you. And what works for me might not work for Ben, might not work for Stephanie. But I think it's important we try these things out. And that's the great thing about being a trainer, is you get your domain and you can try things that maybe sometimes your district or your school was locked down and you can't use. So that's a real bonus from my point of view. And
I think too, we don't give time for kids to review the feedback. Like, I know when I was in school, oh yeah, there we go. Like, students, like, we never had time. It was always like, here's your paperback, next concept. There's not a whole lot of reflection and time to improve, where we have to let that for learning to become mastered. And
I think actually at the moment, I think not by design, but we're actually allowing students a little bit more time to take things in. And I think the situation we're in is allowing us to be more creative with our ideas, because we're having to. And that in itself is allowing the students more autonomy over what they do. So I don't know about you, but I've been doing a lot more of saying, I would like you to produce something on this topic, and they choose what they produce, whether that's a video on Flipgrid, whether it's a screencast if I submit, whether it's a slide deck or a video on their phone, or just a Google document. I don't mind what it is, but I'm letting them choose the tools. And I think that's really important for their later lives, for those key skills for them.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so many different outlets that we don't have an excuse to just say, I'm just going to write a quick text. I even have teachers now making videos and sending those in emails because they're just sick of typing. Yeah,
no, absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of us, I'm quite, I've got like a desk set up and everything because I kicked my wife out of her nail room. But not everybody's got that. Some people are sitting on their bed working. Some people are in the kitchen working. And it's not comfortable and it's not great to be sat typing all day. And it is important to look after yourself. So some of these voice typing tools and screen casting tools are brilliant for being able to give that personal feedback without feeling like you're actually doing any work, which is what I like about it.
I know, when I start creating a video, I'm like, oh, it's already been an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a book, I'm sure, for you.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I will just put my link on while we're at it, actually.
Yeah, Darren's book is amazing, so make sure you check it out.
So just because Steph keeps plugging it for me.
Loads of content to cover.
You up, Ben? He's got stuck again, look.
Oh, I'm not even going to try anymore.
If you want to type in the chat, Ben, and then I can just relay it to everybody, that's fine. But yeah, so I put together over the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks about some different books around use of G Suite and educational technology, but also from a distance learning point of view. So there's a bit.ly link there, bit.ly Ranganation. I will claim, for those of you that recognise the name, I used it a long time before Ramesh Ranganathan started using it. So I'm not having him claiming that off me or anything else like that. But do go and have a look. They're free to have a look at, and you can obviously bookmark them and come back to them anytime you like. But I just wanted to put them out there and kind of give people some support, really, because, the nature of the work that I do as an EdTech coach, 9 times out of 10 is showing somebody how to do it and then letting them go off and do it. And that's more difficult to do at the moment. So, giving them something that they can go back over and just bookmark on their screen is really useful. Ben, you've been putting together a load of videos as well, haven't you?
Yeah, just started a YouTube channel.
Give him an F. Absolutely. Let's give Ben an F. What's it's training with BM, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Put it in the chat now.
Go for it. Pop it in there. So has anyone got any questions for us?
Where did Ranganation come from?
So Ranga Nation, basically Ranga's my nickname because I'm ginger. And if you ask Rachel, she'll probably understand that better than anybody because it's a bit of an Aussie term. So Ranga, being a ginger person. So Ranga Nation is kind of like my little empire. And my daughter's ginger as well. And my wife was born ginger, even though she's not anymore. So we got our own little kind of Ranga Nation going on. So,
gotcha.
okay.
And can we just point out your shirt real quick? Can you come a little bit closer to the, there we go. Look at that shirt. If you think Darren should get me a shirt like that, put an F in that chat.
Oh, yeah. Look at everybody t-shirt. Rachel's friend's fiance is a Ranga as well. Look, there you go. So anybody who doesn't know, Ranga is, basically stands for the Red and Nearly Ginger Association. So that's where it's come from.
Gotcha.
So cultural divide, you see, it's great, isn't it? You couldn't even tell I was saying colon, which is brilliant.
I don't even know what a colon.
Colon, yeah.
Colon.
Colon.
I thought you were.
I know it. It's not an E at the end. No.
Yes, colon, like semicolon. Yeah, like Cristobal Colon. It's the same people.
Oh, shit.
I was over the moon the other day because you are, Steph, the first person who's ever actually live in person said "dang" to me. I've only ever seen it on a film before. You came through on a text and it was like "dang." I was like, "Wait."
Is that a cuss word in the UK?
No, not at all. It's just it's a very very American word. It doesn't ever get used in England.
Really. I am pretty American.
Yeah, pretty much so. Yeah. So has anyone got any questions for Steph, who's completely
Let's get back on track?
anything at all? I threw her completely at the start by asking if her day was chock-a-block, and that really scuppered you, didn't it?
It did.
I mean, Dean's with us. Dean's following as well. Welcome, Dean. Thanks for dropping in.
He wants me to have a shirt.
Hey?
He wants me to have a shirt.
He wants you to have a shirt, does he? Oh, yeah. He would do. Good old Dean. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to Dean's YouTube channel and make sure you join him for the isolation game show on Saturday night for us in the UK, and probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon where you are, Steph, I think. Is that about right? It's about 5 hours difference.
It is 5 hours. Yeah,
there we go. I'm getting there. I'm getting used to this UTC lark. It's all good.
Oh, poor
back on track while Dean says thanks for plugging his isolation game show, which is brilliant, good fun, and I've nearly won both weeks so far, so I could do with a challenge. I say nearly. I was pipped by 1 point this week. How do you think this is going to develop people's practices long term after COVID?
What, feedback?
Yeah.
Are we back on topic?
Yeah, back on topic.
I really hope that teachers will use this in powerful ways because, sorry, Abba just posted UTC. Anyways, I can't focus. Well, I really hope that feedback is in the new normal when we come back from distance learning, because I really think some teachers are still taking papers home with them and then they're waiting a week to give them back, where that should not be the case. You should be grading like as quickly as you can to get that back to students. And so rather than through Google Meet, you could meet in person, or if a student does have a health issue or is in the office because of behavior, why can't you do a Google Meet with them and have them listen to your lesson? Or I'm hoping it uses technology in powerful ways, or maybe you are having to grade at home and you can leave those video feedbacks and students can listen at home, like the flipped model. So where they're listening to that feedback at home rather than watching a video or something like that. So I think it just gives us another tool. And I think too, it allows students to communicate with us in a different way. So if they didn't understand something, they could turn on Mote or Screencastify and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this concept. Here's where I'm struggling. And you can kind of see their thinking out loud, and then you can help them.
Absolutely. And I bet, Ben, you've had a lot of success with students with Flipgrid, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been really good. I've been doing a lot of the more of a well-being side to Flipgrid, actually. Just checking in and seeing how everyone's getting on. And I've had, most students are engaging and sharing ideas. And I just, it's great to see, especially during this time, being able to see my students, and asking them questions and taking their mind off things just for a little while out of this crazy world that we're in at the moment. So it's been a game changer for them. As I say, they can see people within their class and they can also see their teacher as well, which I think is really important. As you mentioned earlier, Darren, some of those students are only seeing people within their household at the moment, and not seeing anyone outside. So it's great for them to see people outside of their house.
And I love what Flipgrid did with their screencasting, how they just added that tool on. And I know, I think it was this summer, they added like the whiteboard feature and like the stickers and all of that. Like, I don't think they had an idea COVID was coming, but I'm so glad that they added those features because it made it so much easier for teachers to transition. Absolutely.
And the stickers, particularly the emojis, I think have made a big difference to those students who were reluctant to film themselves, because they can now stick a big emoji over their face.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mind talking and being heard, but they don't necessarily, because of the way media is these days, they're a bit self-conscious about the way they look, particularly on a not particularly good screen camera or something like that, or the lighting's not great and they can't put a filter on that they want to. Actually, that's given them the incentive to say, do you know what, I will record because I can just put a great big smiley face in front of my face and get on with it. And they've come up with some really creative ways around it if they're not used to it. And that's what I love about it. It's encouraging students to be creative, and they're Flipgrid in particular, they're collaborating with each other, they're liking each other's posts, they're responding to each other's posts. So you've got all that collaboration and all that communication going on. But at the same time, if you marry it up with that whole process of choose the right medium for you, you can use a Flipgrid, you can use a slideshow, you can record a video, you can make a podcast. Then they're also displaying those critical skills in terms of thinking about what's the right tool for the job in this case, which is what it's all about for them, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I love too the pixel.
I think that's really.
Yeah. Cool. So we haven't got any more questions in the chat, so we'll just give it last call for anybody who wants to ask any further questions. But
I'm surprised Avid hasn't asked a crazy question.
He did ask what time is it currently in UTC.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
Google. Hey, Avid, what time is it in UTC? Avid is my personal assistant.
Is anybody else's Google Home going mental at the moment? Every time you're like on a meet or recording a video and it's just pinging away in the background. My phone is just.
We have a question in the chat.
Do we?
Yep. Darren, who plays the piano?
Who plays the piano? Well, lots of people plays the piano. Freddie Mercury used to. Elton John still does. But not me. No. Hi, Judy. Judy's phone going crazy. Judy actually very kindly, I was a guest on a podcast with Judy a few weeks ago, which you might have had an opportunity.
Oh, is she the Google goddess?
That is Judy. Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
So,
I just know her of the Google goddess. I don't know her as Judy.
It's we're like that. But that was a really, really interesting. Actually, one of those things that. There was myself from the UK and everyone else was from the US, and it was really good to have a chat about the perspective of different people and how different places are dealing with it. Because I had no idea about sort of Wi-Fi buses and things like that, because of course in this country none of that's happening. The concept of driving a bus into town and students going up to the bus and things like that was just fascinating from my perspective. So that was really good. I think Judy, I think she tweeted out the third part of that podcast. I think it was yesterday. So
her husband knows her as a goddess as well. Where is Judy from?
There we go.
Do you know what state Judy's from? Or maybe she can answer in the chat.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I'm terrible with things like that. My geography is not brilliant. That's why Google Earth's such a lifesaver. I barely know where I'm from, if I'm honest with you. I know Rachel's from Australia. That's about as much as I manage. But
Ooh, Pennsylvania. Okay, that's pretty close to Ohio.
65,000. There's a song, wasn't there?
Huh?
Ben knows. Ben's a musician.
I got a reference.
Ben plays instruments.
I got a reference. Yeah.
Ben is a fantastic drummer.
Yeah.
Ben, you
Thank you.
if people YouTube Wipeout Maltings Academy, they'll see you in action, won't they?
Yeah, quite a few years ago now, but yeah, they will see me on the YouTube page.
Well,
I think you actually recorded that.
I did, yeah. If you go onto Google and you search Maltings Academy and Wipeout, you'll see Ben and a couple of his friends doing a fantastic job on the drums, which is quite something to watch. It's one of my favourite things that's ever been done in a school assembly. It was absolutely superb. Yeah. Okay, Judy, Steph, and Steph, Judy wants to connect with you.
Sounds good.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay, well, if we haven't got any more questions, guys, we'll kind of wrap things up a little bit there because we're just coming up to the hour. Just want to say thanks massively to you, Steph, for coming along and being our first guest on Short.
Thank you for allowing me and trusting me this morning. I know you were a little nervous.
No, it's all good. We're absolutely fine. We knew we were in good hands with you as a guest. So that was great. And thanks to you, Ben, as well. And remember that it's short and sweet. So Ben's short and I'm sweet. Okay. and then apparently Steph's amazing. What's so funny? Honestly. Some people,
I don't know what's funny there anyway.
No, I don't think that's funny. I think it's very accurate. Wow. Ben's short and I'm 6'5", so it works. Okay. But thanks very much for tuning in tonight. If you're watching this on the live recording as well, please do hit that subscribe button and tune in again. We won't be live every week. Some weeks are going to be pre-recorded, but we will try and do as many live broadcasts as we can, particularly at the moment, because I think it's important that we see and speak to and have the chance to interact with each other. So thanks very much for joining us tonight. Stay safe. Enjoy your dinner if you haven't had it already, and enjoy the rest of your day and have a very, very safe weekend. And for those of us in the UK, enjoy bank holiday weekend, remembering that if you're not sure what day it is, tomorrow, Friday, is Bank Holiday Monday. And if that doesn't confuse you, nothing will. So take care, everyone. Say goodbye, Steph.
Goodbye.
Say goodbye, Ben.
See you later, everyone.
Take care, guys.